is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We are following a fifth day of protest here in Madison over the death of George Floyd and police brutality.
Now, last night, things remained peaceful in downtown Madison, despite rioting that followed peaceful protests over the weekend. Madeline O'Neill is back downtown now to see how protesters are doing tonight. Maddie?
Well, this is largely a youth-led protest. People started hanging out earlier this afternoon. Now there are hundreds kind of spilling over into the roadway at this point. Earlier this evening, they had 8 minutes of silence, 1 minute for each of the minutes George Floyd was pinned by the officer. So that was really powerful to see with the hundreds of people here. Now, some of the young protesters I spoke with earlier today say they're here tonight because they're fed up.
Ban the KKK. Get them out.
But we're out here because our lives, like literally breathing, and it's not right.
Day 5 of protests and the movement here in Madison isn't losing steam.
We want everybody to have the same opportunity to be safe and to be able to go home after an encounter with the police, because a lot of black people are scared that they won't.
Wednesday's demonstration is youth-led, with protesters like Jahari Wia, Danielle Milkey, and Jada Sales joining in.
Our elders, we're carrying the torch now. You know, they had to go through slavery, they had to go through segregation, they have to go through the civil rights movement, and now it's time for us to make some real change, to really break through those barriers.
People are tired of living in fear. People are tired of feeling like anything could happen to them at any given moment, and there's no proof or no evidence telling that, justice will be served after.
The list of names they're here for pushes them forward.
I'm doing it for Tony. I'm doing it for George Floyd. I'm doing it for Ahmaud Arbery. I'm doing it for Breonna Taylor. That's who we're doing it for, because it could be any one of us, any day. Our brothers, like she said, our sisters, our cousins, our friends. Somebody got to care.
They say that somebody should be everybody.
This isn't a black versus white issue. This is a human race versus brutality issue.
For these protesters, several days of demonstration are drops in the bucket if it means painting a better future.
We will stay out here. We'll be out here every day, the next day, the day after that, because at the end of the day, Black lives matter, and that's what we're fighting for, equality.
Tonight, there's been an emphasis on keeping things peaceful, much like we saw last night. And so far tonight, that's been the case.
Maddie, thank you. The protests weren't just happening in Madison today. Hundreds of people gathered in Sun Prairie to have their message heard. The march started along Main Street and went to the municipal building. The city's mayor, Paul Esser, as well as police officers were also marching peacefully alongside those protesters. City and community leaders are trying to come up with ways to restore the peace and move forward. Now, part of that includes hiring 75 peacekeepers to attend protests. Today at the Fitchburg Boys and Girls Club, Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway shared her thoughts.
These folks will help to bring about moments of peace and healing while supporting the protesters and working to keep everyone safe.
A lot of other speakers shared in her sentiments, and then everyone got down on one knee in solidarity and in memory of George Floyd.
All 4 of the former police officers involved in the arrest and subsequent death of Floyd are now charged. Today, Minnesota upgraded the charges against former officer Derek Chauvin to second-degree murder.
About 9 days ago, the world watched Floyd utter his very last words, "I can't breathe," as he pled for his life.
I am happy that all the officers have been arrested. My father shall not be killed like this. We deserve justice.
The state attorney general said 3 other officers at the scene during George Floyd's death now also face charges. Prosecutors alleged officers Thomas Lane, Alexander King, and Tu Tao aided and abetted in Floyd's murder as he was being restrained. Rallies around the country show no signs of stopping. Thousands protested in Minneapolis, Seattle, New York, Texas, D.C., and California. Police in San Francisco estimate 10,000 people participated in a peaceful rally this afternoon. Floyd's family and friends will gather in Minneapolis tomorrow for the first memorial service in his honor.
Former President Barack Obama hosted a virtual town hall meeting today addressing what has played out over the last week and a half. He had a direct message for young people of color around the country.
I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that your lives matter, that your dreams matter. And when I go home and I look at the faces of my daughters, Sasha and Malia, and I look at my nephews and nieces, I see limitless potential that deserves to flourish and thrive. And you should be able to learn and make mistakes and live a life of joy without having to worry about what's going to happen when you walk to the store or go for a jog or are driving down the street or looking at some birds in a park.
Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is expected to announce plans tomorrow for the removal of an iconic statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee from Richmond's prominent Monument Avenue. A senior administration official told the Associated Press the governor will direct the statue to be moved off its massive pedestal and put into storage while his administration seeks input on a new location.
Overseas demonstrators hurled fire bombs at riot police outside the U.S. Embassy in Athens, Greece today during a protest against racism and the death of George Floyd. Riot police fired tear gas to quell demonstrators who threw Molotov cocktails and flash bombs toward the heavily guarded embassy in the center of the capital. More than 3,000 protesters participated in the demonstration. President Trump is defending what he is calling a very symbolic photo op Monday in front of St. John's Church. In an interview today with Fox News Radio, he said he heard from many evangelical leaders who approved of the event. The president also confirmed that he spent time in the bunker underneath the White House last week, but denied that he was rushed down due to concerns for his safety from protesters. He said he was only down there for a short time for an inspection. U.S.
Secretary of Defense Mark Esper says he does not support using active duty troops to quell protests. His stance directly contradicts the president's law and order approach to the large-scale protests.
The option to use active duty forces in a law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort and only in the most urgent and dire of situations. We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act.
And new tonight, former Defense Secretary James Mattis went on the offensive against the president today, saying, quote, Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership. President Trump responded tonight in a tweet saying, quote, probably the only thing Barack Obama and I have in common is that we both had the honor of firing Jim Mattis, the world's most overrated general. And all of this comes on the eve of the 31st anniversary when Chinese troops cracked down on pro-democracy protesters in Tiananmen Square. Protesters faced tanks head-on as the Chinese military opened fire. No official death toll has ever been released, but rights groups estimate hundreds, if not thousands, were killed. And for the first time in 30 years, Hong Kong did not commemorate the event with a candlelight vigil.
People in Portage are still recovering from last night's storm. Residents spent the day cleaning up fallen trees and assessing damage to their properties, many without electricity. Columbia County deputies responded to over 50 weather-related incidents in the area last night, including trees blocking roadways and downed power lines. They say no one was hurt, but some homes and buildings sustained extensive damage. The largest free-flying flag in the country was destroyed in the storm last night. It's outside Acuity Insurance in Sheboygan. The high winds tore it in half. The gauge at the top of the flagpole, which is about 100 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty, recorded wind gusts of 90 miles per hour. The flag has since been replaced. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with our first warn forecast.
A lot quieter tonight, Charlotte. Skies have cleared out and temperatures are actually pretty comfortable. The time lapse from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison shows some clouds this morning. Then we had some sunshine through the day today. For the most part, it was pretty quiet. A few cumulus clouds popped up late this afternoon, but even those started to die down toward the evening. A Doppler track right now, free of precipitation across southern Wisconsin. High temperatures today in the middle 80s. Madison topped out at 86, Janesville 84, was as warm as 87 in Boscobel and 88 in La Crosse. Current temperatures are in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. Madison right now 69, Janesville at 72. Dew point temperatures still in the middle 60s. They're higher to our south and west, but lower closer to Lake Michigan. That's drier that'll be moving in with time. Look for a sunny day tomorrow. It'll be very warm with high temperatures in the middle 80s. Be a chance for a thunderstorm later tomorrow night, but most of the weekend should be dry. I'll have the full forecast in a few minutes.
With the warmer temperatures we've been seeing, the Clean Lakes Alliance says there are already some signs of algae blooms around Dane County. These photos are from Goodland County Park Beach on Lake Wabisa and James Madison Park on Lake Mendota this afternoon. Tropical storm Cristobal made landfall on Mexico's Gulf Coast today, dumping heavy rain on the already soaked region before an eventual turn toward the U.S. winds weakened after it moved inland, where it was expected to weaken further before heading back into the Gulf Friday, where it could gather strength once again. The storm could threaten U.S. coast by Sunday, according to a projection by the U.S. National Hurricane Center.
To our coronavirus headlines now, state and county health officials confirm more than 540 new COVID-19 cases today. In total, more than 19,500 people have tested positive in Wisconsin. There were 8 additional deaths today as well. And UW-Platteville is planning to bring students back to campus for the fall semester. That's according to an email today from Chancellor Dennis Shields. He writes, quote, "Plans are fluid and depend on how well we can manage the health and safety of our university community, but we are starting from the position that we will be together in the fall." And new at 10, the U.S. Senate this evening has passed the Paycheck Protection Program reform bill. It was already approved by the House, so now it goes to the president for his signature. The bill gives business owners more flexibility and time to use loan money and still get it forgiven as part of the Paycheck Protection Program, set up to help struggling small businesses with emergency loans during the pandemic. And still to come tonight, a sign of summer opening tomorrow on Lake Mendota.
But first, we'll head back downtown for an update on this 5th night of protests. Stay with us.
Go ahead, live your best life. You can live your best life, best life, best life. You can live it, we can go and get it, we can go and get it, we can go and get it. You can live it, we can go and get it, we can go and get it. You can live your best life, best life, live your best life.
Feldco season is here, and the signs are all around us. Like free installation on all windows, siding, and doors, and no interest for 1 year. It's time to jump on that home renovation project, and free installation all from the comfort of home. That gives you time to make the most of your Feldco season.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Work smarter. Use the cloud to securely print, scan, and collaborate. GI Office Technologies, helping businesses like yours.
While there's no instruction manual for what we're all going through now, there is Christian and Natalie and all our other associates at Pick and Save, working with one of the country's biggest supply chains for the Kroger family of brands. Keeping our promise that our shelves will be continually stocked and that you'll always have access to the things you need. Because together, we've got you covered. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Support Clean Lakes Alliance with a virtual Loop the Lake. Ride, walk, run, or whatever in your own neighborhood. Socially distanced fun to support our lakes.
A new moment in wireless has begun. T-Mobile and Sprint are joining forces. By bringing together our two networks, T-Mobile will build America's largest and most reliable 5G network with more towers, more engineers, and more coverage. You'll get the best 5G network and the best prices. Welcome to T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.
Hi, folks. Coming up Thursday morning, Hattie has another warm day in store for us in our First Warn forecast.
And if you're wondering how to talk to your kids about race and racism, we'll have some advice from local leaders.
See you at 4:30.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. We want to go back downtown for an update on the 5th night of protest in downtown Madison.
Our Maddie O'Neill has been on the scene since they started today, and she's live on the Capitol Square with an update. Maddie?
Well, the protest is continuing just as peaceful as before. We've had speeches interspersed with music. I'll show you still a large crowd, hundreds here tonight. Now, again, this was mostly youth-led. A lot of young people out here tonight. We heard one speaker making a plea to other young people. He had just graduated himself, asking everyone to come together for this cause. We do have some candles over there lit. They had a memorial earlier tonight. So really the focus has been on staying peaceful, but also hoping for change. So, you know, you heard from those young protesters earlier in the show talking about how they're not going to stop until they see actual change. And tonight we don't see any signs of people leaving anytime soon either.
Madeline O'Neill reporting live tonight. Thank you. And for the latest developments on the protest, local and around the country, be sure to stay with News 3 Now and channel3000.com for the updates.
Stephen Avery, one of the subjects profiled in the Netflix documentary series Making a Murderer, has tested positive for COVID-19. His former criminal defense attorney Jerome Buting tweeted that news. Stephen Avery currently confined to his cell and has symptoms being described as short-lived. Avery and his nephew Brendan Dassey were convicted in the 2005 killing of freelance photographer Teresa Halbach. They are both serving life sentences. Two major Oshkosh area concerts have now been canceled this summer. Both Country USA and Rock USA will no longer take place. Organizers announced that decision today. They say it's because COVID-19 is still circulating in the area. Health officials strongly recommend against hosting large gatherings. Organizers are working to reschedule the festivals for next year.
The U.S. government says it will block Chinese airlines from flying into the U.S. for now. This move is in response to what it says is a policy that has prevented U.S. carriers from service between the two nations. The Transportation Department restrictions take effect June 16th, but President Trump can enact them sooner. AMC Theaters, the world's biggest movie theater chain, said today it has substantial doubt it can remain in business after closing locations across the globe during the pandemic. The theater chain, which closed its theaters earlier this year, expects to have lost between $2.1 and $2.4 billion in the first quarter.
Well, here's a little sign of summer. The Olbrich Park Beer Garden will reopen tomorrow. There will be some changes, including social distancing guidelines, a new plexiglass barrier at the bar. Everything that'll be used is biodegradable, and there will be no sandbox or yard games. Well, let's look at our first warn forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us after the stormy night last night. Pretty beautiful out there today, Gary.
Yeah, southwestern Wisconsin from the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam. The time lapse shows some clouds early this morning, but you can see how they gave way to sunshine. Other than a few cumulus clouds popping up during the afternoon, it was a pretty nice day. Temperatures were well into the 80s, although the humidity levels still remained fairly high. They started to drop a little bit towards sunset. You can see on Doppler track right now, things pretty quiet across southern Wisconsin. For tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms over much of southern Wisconsin with a slight risk farther out to the west. The thing here is we'll be looking at a cold front coming through probably after midnight tomorrow night. So that should limit the severe weather potential here. The other factor is that the air will dry out at least during the day. It'll become a little more humid at night, but because of that, it looks like the greater severe weather threat should stay farther to the west of us. High temperatures today were in the 80s statewide. La Crosse topped out at 88, Madison, Milwaukee at 86. But you can see on weather track right now, skies are generally clear across the state. Some thunderstorms developed in the more humid air down to the south and also to the west. And then a weak cold front pushing through Montana will be our next weather maker with a shower or thunderstorm chance later on tomorrow night. Meantime, down to the south, we continue to watch Cristobal. It's come on shore in the northern portion of Mexico, just to the west of the Yucatan Peninsula. It may weaken a little bit, but there are signs that it will start drifting back northward into the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. That should strengthen it, and it may eventually become a tropical storm and make landfall somewhere along either the upper Texas or Louisiana Gulf Coast as we head toward the latter part of the weekend. Then some of that moisture could get pulled northward into the United States and maybe the Midwest by the middle of next week. Right now, the upper level winds are from west to east here, but farther to the west, those winds become a little more southwesterly, and with time, we'll see those upper level winds shift back to the south. The stationary front has dropped south of us. That was the cold front that came through with the thunderstorms last night, so that's kept all the rain down to our south. Temperatures south of that front still in the upper 70s and lower 80s. North of the front, not a lot cooler, just lower 70s and upper 60s. More importantly, though, south of that front, that's where dew point temperatures are generally in the 70s and upper 60s. North of the front, those dew points really drop off the farther north you go. On future track, you can see clear skies overnight, lots of sunshine during the day tomorrow. Here comes that cold front with a shower thunderstorm chance tomorrow night. night into early Friday morning. Then we clear out for the rest of Friday. Saturday should be nice. Temperatures right around 80 degrees with northerly winds keeping the air dry. And even Sunday should be nice as well. Looking farther ahead into next week, one of the future track computer models beginning Tuesday afternoon shows rain moving in, but some of that could be infused with some moisture from Cristobal as it moves north and almost directly over southern Wisconsin and then moves to the north. So that brings the potential, at least, for some heavier rain from late Tuesday into Wednesday if that does occur. Still a long ways out. For tomorrow, look for sunny skies, no rain expected, very warm, high temperature at 85 with the humidity levels down. It should feel more like 85 as well. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, thunderstorm chances from late tomorrow night into Friday morning. Weekend looks to be dry with high temperatures right around 80. Humidity starts to come back next week. Again, shower thunderstorm chances from late Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll have to watch the remnants of Cristobal for heavier rain. And then after that, we dry out and turn a little cooler. Temperatures drop back into the 70s for the second part of next week.
Still not bad.
I'm not complaining right now, unless Cristobal brings us that moisture in the middle of next week.
Then we'll discuss then.
Right.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Just heading sports, Abby Rock joins Badger hockey royalty. The latest honor the Wisconsin seniors skated away with. Zach's in next with sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hi, I'm Travis Ganser. Looking to update your bath, shower, or your entire bathroom? Ganser is the answer with Bath Creations by Ganser Company.
Schedule your free in-home consultation or visit our beautiful showroom on the Beltline.
A local family-owned business of 4 generations.
Go ahead, live your best life.
Now you can shop for food and shoes at the grocery store. Introducing DSW now at Hy-Vee. You'll find summer styles for the whole family. And right now, all DSW shoes at Hy-Vee stores are 50% off. And we've got hundreds of thousands of shoes on sale. Get 50% off all women's shoes, 50% off all men's shoes, and 50% off all kids' shoes. Check out DSW at Hy-Vee and get 50% off all shoes.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle. That works? Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
Savor the goodness of Kemp's Simply Crafted ice cream. No artificial flavors, no shortcuts, ever. Just local farm fresh cream and a little magic in every scoop. It's simply delicious. Kemp's, good comes around. Bring home more Simply Crafted magic, now in sandwiches and new flavors.
Good morning, class. Today's lesson is about shop and welcome. Do you know what day is coming up?
608 Day. You just go to MadisonMagazine.com, click on 608 Day to find great deals from businesses we love in the 608. You know, like the area code.
Very good, Emmy. When does this take place?
The week of June 8th, 608. Madison Magazine makes it easy to shop local.
She's my star student.
Ganser Company is proud to introduce 80 years in 80 minutes. We give you the skinny in 80 minutes to make an educated decision.
Infinity Windows from Marvin offer a lifetime warranty.
Remember, 80 years in 80 minutes from a local family business of 4 generations.
"26 goals and 58 points. Not a bad senior season for Abby Rock, but today was the cherry on top of an amazing career on the ice at Wisconsin. USA Hockey named her the Bob Allen Women's Player of the Year. Rock is the 5th Badger to win the award, and while that's nice, she just hopes she left the sweater in a better place.
It was a big surprise, obviously a great one, and it means a lot just with the girls who have won it before me. They are all incredible hockey players. A lot of people were like talking to me and are like, well, you rewrote the record books, like your name's gonna be down there forever. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, like that's awesome, like I really like that, but I hope I left the team better than I found it, and I hope I instilled some lessons on players who will carry it down.
It's official. Wisconsin football is back. Well, starting in small groups at first. Beginning Monday, the Badgers will be allowed back on campus to work out. Now, UW is expected to announce how they'll conduct the workouts and test the guys later this week. In other Badger football news, the 2021 class just keeps on growing. Mike Jarvis is the latest recruit to say on Wisconsin. The 6'5", 250-pound three-star defensive lineman from New Jersey chose UW over Florida State, Virginia, and Rutgers. And Beloit College's Ava Lau-Smith made history this indoor track season. Not only did she receive All-American honors in the 60-meter hurdles and the long jump, which no Buccaneer had done before, but she's now a three-time All-American, which is a program first. And as a history major, knowing she'll be in the school's record books is pretty special.
Knowing that like I'll be in the archives after I graduate is something that I'm kind of like really excited about, because I spend so much time there. And like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't fully wrapped my head around it.
Be an All-American, not one event, not two, but three different events. That's amazing. So that's been a joy to see. And yet her best is still out there.
Because she's only a junior. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
The sale of the summer is on now at Ashley Home Store. Who says you have to pay thousands for one-of-a-kind furniture? Show your style with a custom sofa, now just $7.99 and ready for delivery in 3 weeks. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Whether you're catching fish or playing fetch, Fleet Farm has what you need. This week, save big on things like Wrangler jeans. Save $5 on men's Wrangler denim jeans. Wrapless Shad Wraps, exclusive colors, $5.99. Select Goodyear tires. Buy 3, get the 4th free. Plus, get up to $50 back after rebate. And get 25% off trees, nursery stock, and hanging baskets in the garden center. No matter the job, we've got you covered. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
I do all my shoe shopping at Rogan's because I know that I find what I'm looking for and save. You can count on great service, a huge selection, the best name brands, and the second pair is half price. And one more thing, a choice in how you save. I can get my second pair half price now, or just save my receipt, come back anytime, and get my next pair for half price. Rogan's makes saving easy.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
The open road, the wind in your hair, the feeling of freedom that drives us to go out and discover. At Chevy, we're committed to getting you there with confidence and peace of mind. That's why your Chevy Clean dealers commit to using enhanced vehicle cleaning measures with CDC-approved cleansers. If you need a new Equinox, get 0% APR for 72 months or $4,500 cash allowance on most models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home where available, so you can find new roads with confidence.
During times like these, it's important to stay connected.
The new normal isn't normal at all.
But just because we're apart
doesn't mean we're alone.
We can reach out to old friends. Remind our family that we love them.
Stay on top of business.
Even if it isn't business as usual.
Because we are resilient.
No matter how much distance is between us, we will never let you lose your connection.
US Cellular has a network you can count on, which means you can do anything, even make a commercial. US Cellular.
The sale of the summer is on now at Ashley Home Store. We've transferred hundreds of clearance items from our warehouse to our store to save you up to 90% off for this massive blowout event. Bring your truck and trailer for immediate pickup or delivery. These deals are too hot to miss. Ashley Home Store.
Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
And finally tonight, we are taking one last look downtown on this fifth night of protest around the Capitol Square. So far, everything has remained peaceful. We still have not seen any officers in the crowd, which has been the case the last couple of nights as well. We will be cutting in on programming throughout the night with any updates, so be sure to stay with News 3 Now and channel3000.com for the latest developments.
A lot drier out there tonight than it was a night ago. Gary joins us. Final check of the forecast.
And it should stay that way. If you look at Doppler radar, all the storms are down in Illinois, moving away from us. So we should not only see dry weather for tonight, but for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow night, there's a marginal risk of a strong to severe thunderstorm, mainly after midnight as a cold front comes through. Temperatures right now, upper 60s to the lower 70s. Tomorrow, look for high in the middle 80s with mostly sunny skies. Humidity levels, though, still staying down during the day. After the thunderstorm chance tomorrow night into Friday morning, look for dry weather through the weekend with highs around 80. We warm up early next week as humidity comes back. Showers and thunderstorms later Tuesday into Wednesday, and then cooler and drier for the end of next week. High temperatures in the middle 70s.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Now, a WISC TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinan.
First of all, I want to thank Chris Reese for his editorial yesterday. It was our vice president and general manager and editorial board member Tom Keeler who suggested we have Chris deliver his thoughtful and heartfelt social media post as an editorial. It was a great idea, and from the remarkable responses I've received, many of you feel the same way. In addition, we want to acknowledge the extraordinary leadership of Boys and Girls Club of Dane County CEO and President Michael Johnson. Johnson's commitment to this community and its citizens, his vision, and his ability to foster collaboration and partnerships and inspire other leaders, activists, philanthropists, and caring citizens to act is resulting in both response and recovery, peace and change. We're going to have more to say about change in upcoming editorials. But thank you, Michael Johnson, for showing us what leadership looks like.